The guys, they, even though, they were following rules, I was following rules, the women there were trying to adapt, the young soldiers, we're all kind of confused. But with each day of training, you become more focused and you become more aware of why you're there, and then the camaraderie starts forming. So what I saw throughout the entire transition was everyone was starting to embrace each other, because bottom line, we knew that we were there to protect each other's back. It wasn't, well, this may be a life and death situation. Everything is a life and death possible situation. So we took that with stride, knowing the commitment, and I just saw several things with each transition, from basic to my occupational specialty, in which that's what they had done. In the beginning, back in 1940, the women weren't allowed to do anything much but stay separated, and you were used in more quartermaster positions. They wanted
what
to do...
What are quartermaster positions, like administration or something?
It's a lot of administration. You may be able to work on and build things, actually. Rosie the Riveter was a good role model, in that the women were actually working instead of the men who were sent to war. So we needed more women to work here and fill the men's places. So women have been involved working those 9 to 9, 12-hour shifts while the men were gone. So basically, getting back to our time, they had incorporated a whole bunch of military occupational specialties by the time I got in 1978. The DOD said, we're going to have women where they will have more of the roles that they want to have to serve in any capacity that they want, except combat front lines. Or even right before me, they couldn't have a weapon. They couldn't hold a weapon. So all of that changed in the 70s, into the 70s. So that's when I came in, 78. Okay. They actually incorporated in 1973 that they will have an expansion of women in the military, and that's what happened. We had a bombardment. We had a total of 2% women in the military. Back in 45, it was held. They wanted to keep it at no more than 2% women. Then when this rush came in and they knew that they did not have enough manpower, they said, we're going to push it all the way to no more than 8%. And I was right in that influx of all the MOSs opening. And that's what allowed women, they already knew they can do the job because they were doing it on the outside where the men were at war. They were already fixing cars and handling mail and being nurses. Nurses were always been on the front line. Nurses is the oldest corps there is. It's a very proud corps, and I'm proud to say I'm a registered nurse also.
Amen.
Well, you wear a lot of hats.
It's good. And I guess, I was looking at some of the movies here, and I was looking at Private Benjamin when they came out and showed that,
That was Benjamin is Glenda.
That's right. That was back in then. I want to switch over to LaTreece real quick, baby. I'm going to let you get a question because I want to have ask some. You're a little bit different on the aspect because you came in there and you had children with you as well. So talk a little bit about the stress that might have been having the children there and doing the things that you were doing with your children there as well.
Well, when I began, I had one, and she was 4 at the time. She was 4 when I went to basic training. And the stress was not only against me, but against her, because I remember I would get calls in basic training where she was acting out in school. She had started back wetting herself. So she was stressed as well because I wasn't there. But when I returned, it was okay because I started out as a reservist. So one weekend a month, mommy had to go away, or, mommy had to work all day, come home late, get up early in the morning. So that wasn't as stressful for her. However, the stress really began when I deployed, because now I had 2 children. And I had to start preparing for deployment when my youngest was only 6 months old. So I was in Afghanistan when my baby turned 1. So that was extremely stressful.
Yeah, that had to be very stressful for you being that separation.
Yeah. So I'm over there dealing with local nationals, crying my eyes out, and they're looking at me like, that American lady's crazy. And I'm like, no, I miss my children. So it was very stressful, but I knew that I had a goal, I had a reason for it, and it would all be better in the end. But then when I came home for 6 months, and then get orders to go active duty to Massachusetts, that was just stress beyond stress. Me and my children are in a new area. We're 1,000 miles from home, no family. Thank the Lord for my mother, who got tons of air mileage coming every month to visit me, because I would go crazy without my family. But it was very stressful. I went through a lot of stress, a lot of talk time with my good old godmother here, my therapist. But yes, it's just hard. And, it's not only hard on me, but it's hard for the children as well.
So you talked to Tracy and you was okay. God bless you.
Okay, I'm going to interrupt my husband on that one. Tracy's a good person to talk to. She's my therapist, too, LaTreece.
Oh, my God. So now I know why all y'all messed up. Okay.
Well, hey, whatever.
My God.
Well, before I go
Lord,
to this
help
next
me, Jesus.
question,
Go ahead.
I wanted to know, have we paid attention to Glenda saying 1978. LaTreece, you joined in 2008. That's a 30-year span. So, listeners, you're going to have a great show tonight, because I'm paying attention to this. You got your first.
You going to the Army
here.
too? Okay.
No, I can't do the Army.
Okay.
I can't do it. You can't do that. I can't do that. But I'm about to take you down to the military wife side here. My question for you, Miss Lovely Dawn, is it hard as a military wife being away from your spouse when he is deployed?
Absolutely.
Now break that down.
Absolutely. It's hard on many different reasons. It's hard, I don't have children myself, but I'm also going to speak for those people who have children that are my dearest friends as well as myself. Those spouses that are, whether they are the husbands or the wives, they have kids. I'm going to tell you something. When your spouse deploys, anything that can happen does. A dog will die. Somebody will get sick. God forbid if you have to go home and you live, like this young lady said, away from home and you have to travel somewhere. Anything that could have happened will happen. And for us as spouses, I don't know about anybody else, but speaking for myself in particular, is when my husband is away, the house can blow up. He won't know it. If he calls me and he says, "Hey, baby, how's it going?" I could be outside with the fire marshal. I'm good. How you doing? How you doing, babe?
You don't want to put no stress on them.
Because guess what? They need to have their head in the game. Because I want them to come back. I want him to come back. So they don't need any stress, because it's stress for them too. They want to make sure that you're okay. They want to make sure that, and especially like my husband had a situation where when he deployed, we had just got to a new duty station. They said, "Hey, guess what? Your name pulled up." They sent him. He didn't even unpack the house. They sent him to training. I was left to unpack the house. I called my mom. She helped me unpack. Then she left. He came back for a month, and he was gone for 6 months.
So wait a minute. Let me just have some clarification for
Yes,
myself
ma'am.
and our audience.
That's right.
When they call, it's I don't want to do that this week.
No, you up, you gone.
So they like, you mine, I'm paying for
That's
it.
right.
That's why they say you in the Army now.
You are government issued.
Right.
You are government issue.
So you could have just had a baby.
You gone.
Hello.
You gone.
I mean, but did they give you like a month? 6 months?
It's
6 months?
Yeah. If you just came out of the nursery,
You got to get that right.
They'll give you 2 hours.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? but if you are the man in the military and your name come up, you out. You gone.
I couldn't do it.
And that's why my book said it's called to duty. You have to be called for this.
Yeah.
You have to be called for this. No, I don't believe that this journey, this calling is for anybody. This is not for the faint at heart. It's not.
Oh no.
It's not for the faint at heart. And don't get me wrong, and don't get me wrong. I mean, I sit here and I'm supportive and all that stuff. But man, my husband don't know the calls I have made to pastors, my mama, because I'm getting ready to go and jump off the bridge.
Yeah.
Because
he don't know that, though.
He don't know that. Because guess what? Like I said, when he called, he don't hear that. Because I want his mind to be, when he got off the phone, he can say, "You know what? My baby's good. All right. Good to go."
And the thing about it is that a lot of people don't know, and they don't understand that the wife goes through the same amount of stress as the
Absolutely.
husband, and they
Absolutely.
don't
The
see
family
that.
does.
Yeah, the family does. They don't
the
see
children, everything.
Yeah, they don't see that as a
Everything.
call of duty themselves that the wife or the family has to go through.
That's why it's
And-
a military family.
Yeah,
That's right.
And LaTreece,
Amen.
you were talking a little bit about your children. You had a child, and how you had to go right back into service. Talk a little bit about that.
I did. I had my daughter in March of 2010, and literally after 2 months, they were like, well, you know what? We were not going to take you on the deployment, but we really want you to go because we need your HR support. I was like, are you? I was voluntold.
Voluntold. I like that. I was
volunteered and
voluntold.
You don't volunteer.
You're
You're
voluntold.
voluntold.
Okay.
So that's cute.
I like
I
that.
was voluntold, and my daughter was about 4 or 5 months. I had to stop nursing so that I can start going to training.
Wow. Yeah, that's amazing. Hey, I want to say to the callers right now, if you want to call in, the call-in number is 312-754-4333. That's 312-754-4333. Glenda, I'm going to ask you a question before we go into a commercial break here. You said you started, in the 70s, and now you're looking at right now, you're looking at 2015. You're looking at the difference there. Look at some of the decades in between that, and tell me a little bit about what you've seen in some of the changes that have happened where the military is more accepted to women being a part of the military service.
Well, I had both of my children in the military also. I joined in 1978, and I had my son almost 3 years later at the end of my first tour. And that brought some complications for me also. But in 1975, they had the military had discounted its policy to have women who were pregnant involuntarily discharged.
Discharge, yeah.
So I was able to have my children then, and really that was just like right past me, and so everything fell in line for me to stay in the military and still have my children. It was kind of funny because when I went through where you're in process in the military, this girl said to me, and I put it in my book, Confessions. I thought it was just such a cute thing to add. She's a little white girl. She said, I'm pregnant. She said, you can have my urine if you want to get out of this duty, this commitment you have. And I was just going through Confessions is something.
Okay, I
Yeah,
can't
Confessions
wait to
is
read
something.
that.
It's my second book. In my own words, it's my first book. By the way, in my own words, is in the White House Library.
Amen.
First Lady Michelle Obama, she sent me a letter, so it's on page 5.
Okay, now.
So Confessions is my second book. It's the tell-all of all the struggles that females go through, and that was one of the things I thought about it. The funny thing is, I actually thought about her giving me her urine because they didn't check. They didn't check.
The Army didn't check.
They did not do drug tests. They did not check your urine if you do the physical examination. So she could have passed me her urine, and I said that I denied it. I told myself, you know what, I think I'm going to do this. And I politely declined her urine, and I thought that was nice.
She said politely.
That was nice of her in a strange kind of way. But the Army has slowly accommodated for us since 1975, allowing us to stay in while we're pregnant. So we actually had the uniforms, the pregnancy uniforms, and
They have pregnancy?
yes, we have pregnancy uniforms, and they make you look bigger than what you are too.
Hey, I'm going to stop you for a second real quick because we've got a caller. And caller, I'm going to say I want you to hold on for a second. We're about to get ready to go to commercial break, so I'm going to try to go into the caller right now if I can move this thing. Hey, caller, are you there? Hello, caller.
Yes.
Yes, are you there? I want you to do one favor for me because we're about to get ready to go to commercial break. If you can hold on for the commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Sure.
Okay, hold on for that. We appreciate you holding on. You're going to hear some wonderful information from some awesome young lady who has served our country well. Hold on, please. Hey, we're going to go to our commercial break. Hey, Jonathan, let's go into that commercial break, and we'll be right back with the Let's Stay Together show. We've got some awesome women here sharing their military story We'll be right back. This is the Let's Stay Together show. See you after these commercial breaks.
Good evening. This is Reverend Rick McCain with something you should know.